Hey everyone, I've been really getting into sewing lately, and I wanted to share the easiest thing for beginners to start with: how to make a scrunchie. Firstly, you're going to need some fabric. I'm using satin, some elastic, pins, safety pins, a piece of paper to cut out your pattern, and a pair of scissors. Oh, and also a sewing machine, or you can sew by hand. Let's begin. Firstly, you'll need to cut out your pattern. It's just a rectangle of 30 centimeters by 10 centimeters. If you want to make a fatter scrunchie, you can increase the height to 15 or 20 centimeters. Fold your fabric in half and then lay out the pattern on the fold line. You're going to want your cutout to be double the size of your pattern. I'm using this rotary cutter, but you can just use scissors. Once you've cut your pattern out, unfold it and then fold it in half vertical ways, with the good side facing in. Then pin it in place. You'll want to leave a 4 centimeter gap near the end of one side, so mark that out with your pins. Sew the long side with a straight stitch. Remember to backstitch at both ends. As you get close to the end, remember to skip the 4 centimeter gap that you've marked out before. And then clean up any loose threads. Now you can flip the fabric so the good side is facing outwards. Next, we're going to sew the ends together. Take the end with the gap and flip it through the gap. Take the other end and put it through the gap as well. Match up the seams on both ends. You can cut off any excess, but I'd leave half a centimeter overhang to make it easier to sew. Now we sew these ends together. This is tricky. If you opted for a fatter scrunchie, it should be easier, but you can see I'm taking it slow here, pausing every few stitches to adjust the fabric and make sure I'm not sewing anything together that I shouldn't. Then you can pull the ends and it should look like this, nice and clean. Now we can insert the elastic. Measure the length of your wrist at about 4 centimeters and cut your elastic. Attach a safety pin on both sides of the elastic, then also attach one safety pin to the scrunchie at the gap. This lets you thread the elastic with the other end easily. When it's through, remove the pins and tie a knot. You can also choose to sew the ends if you want. Almost done. The last thing is to fold the hem of the gap inwards and sew a short stitch to close this gap. Use the same coloured thread so it's inconspicuous. Adjust your scrunchie evenly and we're done. You now have a beautiful satin scrunchie.